different offense and have a pretty good quarterback. Do you have kind of an appreciation for the way Sean Mannion has gone about the craft over these 4 years?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a fantastic football player. I mean, he's a football player. You know, he's a tough guy, manages things well. One of the best deep ball throwers I think that's ever been. You know, just great ball placement on deep balls is rare. You know, working with a new total group of receivers, got a bunch of guys that are developing maybe a little bit too fast for our liking, Billerman and those guys, but just an outstanding player. I mean, big arm, but can put the touch on it. Does a great job in the screen game and tooling some balls in there, and that turn out to be big plays as well.
Gary?
Yeah, Mark, you were a part of course senior day festivities at Autzen. It's going to be the same deal over at Reeser. Does that add anything to the home team, or once the game starts, does it just become another game?
I think there's an emotional element to it being absolutely, and they'll have, you know, if you look at their defense, I mean, they could potentially start 10 seniors, very, very experienced, deep group of guys, prideful guys, obviously Mannion, and then the rest of the group on offense, and yeah, it'll be an emotionally charged beginning, and then the game starts, and you know, that wears out.
Tyson?
Going back to, you know, Mannion putting with a new group of receivers, Marcus has kind of had to do the same thing a little bit this year too, and he's made it look pretty easy. And I know Mannion's kind of had some ups and downs this year. Just how hard is that, just to acclimate yourself to a whole brand new group? I mean, a lot of it depends on just how well the chemistry is working in practice and et cetera,
right.
et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sweat. I mean, you have to go out there and do it. You have to go out there and do the same route against multiple coverages, the same route against multiple coverage with the quarterback having to reset his feet, the same route against multiple coverages and the guy slips, you know, just to get all just that chemistry between every guy in the rhythm and the timing of a particular one route. That takes a long time, and that's what's been impressive. I don't know, you know, obviously what they've done, but here with Marcus and leading those guys, Keenan Lowe leading those guys, they did an outstanding job this summer and last spring of getting ready to go, because they knew, you know, we knew we were going to have some opportunities for immediate playing time for some guys, and they took full advantage of it.
Aaron?
Coach, Oregon State struggled for much of the Pac-12 season, but they're undefeated against top 10 teams. What does that ASU game tell you about them?
Well, they're really good. You know, they are extremely talented, and you know, there's been some games where you flip it on and it's been, like you said, a substantially different. And you know, again, there's so many. You'd be a billionaire if you could answer the question of why people are ready one week and not as much the next week. It also says a lot about our conference and how deep it is. But there's a bunch of games where they look really scary, and you know, we know we're going to get that version, and all the more reason of just worrying about us and our preparation, and you know, hey, here's their tendencies and here's their deal, and play toward that.
Matt?
You've played some defensive lines that have been pretty good, Utah, Stanford, Washington. Where does Dylan Wynn stack up along those guys?
He's a stud. I mean, just a grinder, unbelievably high motor type guy, powerful. He's got great hands, and just relentless. And you know, he's a guy that causes a ton of issues, run and pass. He does a great job as a you know, kind of a picker on their games, their stunts. He's just a complete player, really good player.
Jake?
Coach, how do you plan to attack Sean Mannion? You talked about how good he is throwing the deep ball. How do you kind of neutralize his effect?
Well, you have to change things up. You know, you have to blitz him. You have to play coverage. You have to change up the coverages, make him move. But yeah, he's you know, he's such a polished guy, veteran guy. There's not too many things that he hasn't seen. It's just a matter of trying to stay one step ahead of him. Is that an OU sweatshirt?
Got it at a garage sale.
Okay.
From here. Surplus sale.
That's why it was being sold.
Dave?
Coach, did you go to any Civil Wars as a kid growing up?
I did. Yeah, I went to a few. Somebody actually just asked me that same thing on the conference call, and I don't have any memorable stories. So there you go. run with it. I remember sitting, in the Parker Stadium end zone, just being drenched with my brother. We went up there one time. I don't remember what year that was, but we were always on the right side of the rivalry, so to speak.
Oh, I have Mike in the back.
Mark Coronis rolled up on his cart with like what looked like a little get well thing in the little pouch or whatever. He said that it was your daughter that made that for him. Can you tell me about that?
Well, our daughter loves Marcus Mariota, Horonis Grasu, and then she met number nine, Byron Marshall. So, but yeah, Marcus and Horonis have been her favorites for a while, and I was kind of explaining to her what happened, and so she wanted to make him a little card. So I thought that was pretty cool that she did that, and then that he kept it in there she loved that too.
Did she deliver it or did you?
I delivered it for her, yeah.
Warren.
Mark, you remember last year's game was right down to the wire here at Autzen. Have you used that, or do you even need to use that this week as the guys prepare? About how that game really came down.
Yeah, not so much in that vein, but just of there were so many things before that obviously from our point of view we shoulda, woulda, coulda done to make it different. But they're an outstanding football team. They're well coached, and again, that's where we have to just worry about our deal and not worry about their mentality or anything like that. That's if we catch the punt there in the end of the first half, we manage a couple things a little bit differently. I don't call it a silly timeout. Things are a little bit different. A few plays that we could have made here and there, protect a little bit better. Again, they made some great plays in every phase to keep it tight.
Oh, Jay again.
So a couple of the guys downstairs were talking about, Corvallis being hostile and things getting thrown at them when they're walking down toward the field, down the ramp there. Is it as hostile an environment as you guys experience on the road? And as a coach, do you enjoy taking your team in an environment like that, or do you dread it? How do you feel about that?
I love it. I love it. I love those kind of places, and they do a great job. They're very creative, and it's a great atmosphere. Highly competitive atmosphere, and again, it makes you hone in on what your job is that much more. It makes you rally the troops that much more, band together that much more, and take care of your business.
What do you mean they're creative?
I don't think that's very difficult to understand. They're very creative.
Mark, I know it's still a month or so before Christmas, but is the Jesus Girls and Mariota T-shirt a possible stocking stuffer in your house? It took a while to get that.
I just want a percentage. It'll go to charity, but no. That'd be a great idea.
Ryan.
Mark, Scott Frost was saying that this is more about the fans in terms of the rivalry, that you guys are really close with the Beaver staff, or at least as close as you can be. Kind of what is your relationship with Mike Riley?
A ton of respect for Mike Riley. I mean, we don't hang out together or anything. I'd hang with him. I don't know what we'd do. It'd be exciting to cover. But yeah, there's a lot of guys on that staff on many levels that we know, whether it's guys that we've recruited that are on their somewhere on their staff, or Coach Kavanaugh we've all known for a ton of years. Chris Brassfield was here. Obviously there's a bunch of guys that have been there for a long time, kind of like our staff, so a lot of natural crossover. But yeah, when it's game time, it's game time.
Aaron.
If Tyner is out this week or beyond, how do you feel about the running back depth without him around?
We feel good about it. I mean, obviously you're going with what you got at every spot, and the guys that have been in there, whether it's Royce, Byron, Kenny, so had a few more guys obviously get in there last week in a time and score type of situation, but those guys have all done very good things, high level things, and we expect that to continue.
Rob.
do you watch the South Division games Friday, or do you just sort of wait to see how when the dust settles and go from there?
When are they?
They're all at 12:30. Yeah.
12:30, maybe.
Both of them at the same time.
We're gonna all get together at Dave Williford's house and watch. It just depends. I'm trying to remember exactly what our schedule is. We bumped it back an hour to get things done, but we'll probably try to carve that out.
Warren?
Mark, it's Thanksgiving week, and kind of besides the coaching element, but what does Thanksgiving mean to you? And do you enjoy this time of year? And were you growing up one to watch football on Thanksgiving Day?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think we were talking about that the other day. It's amazing how much that college football has changed. I mean, you can count on your Thanksgiving Day games that were going to happen, then your day after Thanksgiving Day games that were going to happen, then every other rivalry game was that, either that Saturday or the next, however it all timed out. And no, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Extremely thankful for everything, friends, family, for the guys and people I get to hang out with every day. Luckiest guy in the world.
Tom?
Here, Mark. In that same vein, Thanksgiving Day, Cowboys, that's a tradition. I know you're a fellow Cowboys fan. They play the Eagles and Chip. How's that go for you?
Well, as I've said, I'm now an Eagles fan, so that'll be weird. It won't be Leon Lett sliding through the snow-filled end zone. It'll be whoever's playing for the Eagles now. Go Eagles. Josh Huff, house call.
That's it? No, wait a minute. You have a question in the back.
I'm asking this because somebody told me to.
It's Charlie?
See, that's the ultimate lead-in. You guys people want to know.
It's not my question, but
No, okay. The whole Charlie Pape thing, it's blown up. It was hilarious when it happened. Do you still talk about it? Do you still have a laugh about it? What have you guys heard about it?
Just that people have enjoyed it, and the kid is, hilarious and all that stuff. Like that, it was great. It was great. Those are three important things in everyone's world around here. I don't know what to say. I mean,